fucking.
Oh, do it!
Yes. Oh, fucking hell, dude.
I did it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mission
Next month,
accomplished.
I'm purchasing RAM, CPU, and motherboard. Let's go.
I really want to up my CP.
Your CPU? Okay, interesting. AMD?
Thought about it, but now I'm hearing a new Ryzen's coming out. I'm gonna wait because
Oh,
later this
you
year,
gotta
new
wait for
tech,
life, bro.
new tech's coming out at the end of this year, 2020. So I'm waiting. There's no
Are you
point
sure though?
because if I go Intel, it's gonna be 9900K. If I go AMD, it's gonna be either Ryzen 9 or I can't obviously do the expensive Threadripper, but even Threadripper's overkill. I'm really looking at the Ryzen 9 or whatever. There's something new coming out beyond Zen 2, so I'm kind of curious to see what they got next because they've already been impressive. AMD favors streamers and it favors gamers and people who multitask, content creators in general. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Accept the party invite out of curiosity.
No, not yet. I just got to the main menu right now.
My bad.
Might have to do that thing where you.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna resend it. Don't worry.
I think if you resend it, it might actually work.
Yeah, I will.
But the sending is not re, but if you re the sent, might send a re.
Yeah, definitely. You're so full of shit, dude.
No, seriously, no invite. It's probably gonna be delayed again.
Probably, yeah.
Ugh. I got to turn my garage light on.
Oh, electricity bill, bro. No, can't have that.
See on the camera better. Do night vision.
No.
Night vision.
Just press left bracket. Do me a favor.
Yeah, nothing, man, nothing.
Wait, what? Anything?
Nothing.
Wait, what? Go into universe. I'm gonna send you when you're there. Let me know when you're there so I can send you.
Shows you're online.
I know.
Oh, wait, got it.
There you go. He's a good boy. You're a good boy.
Okay, so now we should be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wait, I have to do this again? Or I'm already in your party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting all your invites now.
Yeah.
What? Jim's not gonna join us? What?
Are you loading in?
No, I'm not.
Bro, you need to accept the thing.
Oh yeah, I had to accept it again. Okay, sorry.
Oh, come on. You fuck me up, Trix.
I gotta get me a new ship.
Oh.
But I'm gonna wait.
game?
I'm just gonna try to do game money first.
Okay.
It sucks that they changed the price of the one that I got.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't cry. I don't care.
What's
No, it's funny because ever since Jim said that, I've been telling everybody, "Hey, hurry up! $25, get in the game."
Yeah, it kind of sucks. So I gotta pay extra now if I want to upgrade. Which the
Yeah. What ship do you have, Trix? I want to see how much it would cost you to upgrade.
Huh?
Can you check how much it would cost for you to upgrade to another ship? Do you know how to do that? I'm gonna send you a link.
Yeah, but I don't know what ship I want. I have to.
No. I'm just curious what the prices are gonna be for you. So I'm gonna send you a link, and I'm gonna guide you from there. Okay? So bam, in private. So this is your link, and once here, just go to ship upgrades. Make sure you're logged in.
Oh man, I'm getting a PS.
Just quickly check how much it will cost you. Okay?
so my ship value is $25. Wow.
How much would it cost you, Jim, to upgrade? Yeah, I'm curious on both ends, both of you.
To anything?
Yeah, the next stage, the next one. Which one would be?
So the Avengers Titan starter pack would be
No,
$65.
hey, listen up, tricks. Go to ship upgrades. So just log in and go to ship upgrades.
Oh, okay. Which
And
okay.
that, yeah.
If a decent one, Mustang Gamma, nope. Avenger Stalker, no. How about the Black?
Yeah. Well, my ship value is 45.
Okay, so you select your ship, right? Select your ship, then go to upgrade 2 and see what options you have there. Read them out loud and click on them.
The Avenger Titan is worth 50, so it literally cost me $5.
Bro,
They
that's cheap
have
and the Avenger Titan is a beast.
yeah. The Ursa Rover, which is
No.
50, so that'd be $5. The
It's gonna be
300i.
It's gonna be 6. No, don't go with the 300 series. No,
Yeah.
the Titan. The Titan definitely is a really good option for you. For $6 or something, psh, bro.
Oh, here's the Cyclone.
$5.
No, the Cyclone is like, no, you don't need that. Oh,
Is
this
the
place is
Lightning
like.
Core good?
I had a Reline core. I would go for the Titan. I'm not gonna lie.
I hated the Titan.
Wow.
That's
Oh my
the
god,
one
this
I
place
think
is so. Oh, okay. Let me.
Yeah, that's the one I always
move.
had the issue with, where I would click the stupid
Well,
canopy
bro,
and
again,
fly out
that's
the
on
ship.
you. Again, it's not my fault that you're a dingus.
I don't know. Should I go with the Argo mode?
That's a different ship, tricks. That's the thing. I mean, that's for mining. I personally haven't really done mining or anything like that. Not gonna lie to you.
What about the Constellation Gila?
Yeah, sure. Like what? $300?
Yeah,
Like, come
no,
on, let's play. No,
I'm
for
good.
you, tricks. For you would be the Titan, which is like $5-6, which is a really good price. It's a really good ship.
Yeah. Well, this was the one that we first started out with. I think when I first started, like for the free to play,
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, no,
Besides
it's
the
no,
canopy thing.
the Titan is good. I'm not gonna lie. I personally enjoyed it. It was my
Oh,
favorite.
my head tracking is on. Why? Oh, hold on.
Don't puke.
Yeah, the only thing
Oh,
I
it's not toggling off. Why?
Well, go on, Jim.
the canopy was the only thing I didn't like about the Titan, because if you like hold F and accident, your
Well,
canopy's gonna fly
yeah,
open.
you just need to be careful not to hold that, bro, and accidentally click
Well,
off.
you try to hold F to like start your engine or do something like that, and you click on something,
Mm.
your canopy just flies open, and you're dead.
Oh, okay.
It happened to me like 5 or 6 times. I was dead. I don't like that ship.
Oh, the lag is killing me. Well, yeah,
It is?
12 FPS, bro. What are you on about?
Yeah, I know, bro. This area is like crazy. That's why when Jim said he was like down, I'm like, bro, we were all down.
Okay, let's see what missions we have. Let me check. Personal appointment. Ooh, job.
Why is my head toggle not turning off and on?
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. I don't know what to do. Give me a sec. K1, you see an alert. That person. Oh, yeah, boy. Bro, are we okay?
What
Are
happened?
we doing illegal things or are we keeping it on the good side?
What's the consequences again for illegal? Does it even matter?
Yeah, yeah. So if you get caught, fines you become that you need to pay. If you don't pay, you become wanted. You have a big problem going in at legal establishments. So you have to like find alternative ways to, you know, like what do you think? Hey, what do you think? Look through the contract manager. What do you think about that? I'm gonna go use the bathroom. So give me like 2 minutes. You just decide what
Okay.
you want to do.
Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so why is my head toggling not turning off? Yeah, numpad right there. So why is it? Oh, now it toggles. Wow. Hmm.
I'm here, dude. I'm here.
Yeah, buddy.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, sorry about that.
Uh,
Yeah, my hotkey does the mute and then the head toggle.
shoot.
Give me one
You
second.
okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly accept a little questy here
Okay.
while you fix your keybinds. Do you
Yeah,
wanna
yeah,
do
yeah.
in-game chat or?
We could. So mainly what I want to do is
Yeah, I'm listening.
a Discord on my Stream Deck, but it
Ooh.
doesn't do it just off rip. So, but I found a plugin for it.
Oh, that's cool.
1 second. 1
Yeah,
moment.
don't worry, bro. I really love Star Citizen. As laggy as I am, and as much as I want to cry about it, I just love it.
Yeah.
Especially with friends. With friends, it's so cool, dude.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Testing, testing. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Hey, again, take your time. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, so I got it on my Stream Deck, but it's not working on Discord. I think Discord needs
Just start Discord if you need.
okay. See here. Okay. Hmm. Let's see here.
You, can I speak or am I disturbing you?
No, you can speak. Go ahead.
Honestly, I really loved the roleplay that we did last time. So if we could continue in that manner, it would be a great series for the stream. I think.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready to start playing. Okay?
Oh, well, I will.
Yeah. Again, take your time. Don't worry. Trix, I want to ask you something. Would you be interested in trying to develop a Star Citizen roleplay community?
I don't know. I have to see. First, I have to see if we got people that would
Okay,
I don't
right
want to
now yeah, you'd have me. So yeah, myself, you, Jim, Cat, Nemo, who have Star Citizen and play it.
hmm
So you already have 5 people. Because if you want to do that, I'm 100% committed and I'm 100% in, because I just find it such great opportunity to roleplay in this game.
Give me 1 second. I got to create
Again, take your time.
a local host file really quick for.
Don't worry, don't worry. No, I'm just shooting ideas. You heard me.
Yeah.
That's it. Do you want me to ask Kat and Nemo if they would be interested in such a thing?
Yeah. I mean, if they want to, like I said, we could try it. Doesn't hurt. See where it goes.
Hmm. Jim, is Jim still here?
No, I think he left. I mean, he's in here, but I think he left. I think he went to
Yeah,
bed.
I think he went to bed. Hey? And let me ask the guys. Let me ask Nemo and Kat. I mean, we don't need a big team and shit. We just need like a small group that we could like have fun with.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked them, and if they are interested, and if you're also like interested, I can set up an organization for us. You can actually have organizations in Star Citizen for roleplay purposes.
Yeah.
I just think it would be a really because I know how much you actually love roleplay tricks, and yeah, I just wanna offer you some interesting things. I don't know if you are like, actually paying attention to what I'm saying, or you're just like because yeah, I know.
I hear ya. You're good.
Okay.
Just trying to make Trick Spot talk. Wait, what the heck? Why is it? Oh, I wonder if it's because Discord's in streamer mode. I didn't even think about that. Give me 1 second.
Again, don't worry. Is everything okay?
Yeah, but for some reason it wants to be weird. I think it's just Discord changing API. I'll mess with this later.
Yeah,
Weird.
sure.
I don't know why it's not working.
Don't worry, dude.
I'll deal with it later. I'm not gonna do it right. All right.
Yeah, sure thing, bro. So, do you want to take this in game and act according, or
We could try.
I let's fucking do it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm? Testing. Testing. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, no, I can hear you on Discord.
Very good. Okay.
Are you good, or what's going on?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Are we ready to go?
pretty much.
Okay. Yo, Trix. Man.
All right. Where you at?
Do you copy, guys?
Yeah.
Trixie. Come on, talk to me. Can you hear me in game?
Wow, my mic was muted. Hold on. Can you hear me? Testing. Can you hear me now? Testing. 1099 or over. Testing.
Can you hear me in game, or?
I think it might be bugged out. I'm not sure.
Okay. Go ahead and go to Editor's party and join that channel. Let's see if that channel works. Okay.
Okay.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Testing. Can you hear me as well?
Testing.
Test.
I can't hear you if you're
Test.
speaking in game.
You can't hear me?
Hello. 1 2 1 2.
Testing. 1 2 3.
Anything, or?
No, nothing. It's weird. Hold on, because like even my head toggle was like messed up. Hold on, something.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry.
Um. Microphone volume, that's it. It doesn't. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, no,
Oopsie
no,
daisy. I forgot I did all my other things.
God, you silly.
Hold on, let me mute myself on Discord.
Yeah.
Testing, testing. Testing, do you copy? Testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing.
Did you say something?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can't hear. I see you. I see your chat bubble popping up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
I
you.
see your chat bubble popping up, but I can't actually hear you. What the heck?
Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, I think it's something with the game, because no matter what device I use, it's saying unplugged. Hold on, I might have to restart.
Oh fuck. We could just use Discord if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or do you want to restart? What do you want to do?
I'm trying to figure it out. Like the
Yeah,
push to
okay.
talk's working, but yeah, it's not. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm seeing on my end. I'm seeing like you're popping on my top left. You're popping that you're actually talking, but you're not talking. Let me try to remake the party. Or does it say that something on your end like you're not?
Yeah, no, it's even. I'm choosing even
Oh.
just my microphone itself. It's just not doing it. Like nothing's working.
Mm,
Let me set it to something, and I think I need to like probably just go to the main menu.
I will have to leave too, so we can join back. Actually, no, I think we can join back on this one. Let's see if you can. If not, it's okay.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna set it here, and then we go to the main menu, and then just
Same,
send me an invite.
You should be able to join on Friends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you connect too many things?
I know, right?
Okay, I'm coming back in.
Sure thing, bro. That's what she
My
said.
bad, bro. Yeah, let me try it again. Hopefully, I don't have to restart the whole game, because you know how some games are where if you change something, you got to restart the whole.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Don't worry, no, be happy. Yeah. Love this music.
The sound design is so nice. I've been just sitting here, right? And I'm just listening to the sounds. I'm looking at the video. It's just really cool, dude.
I know.
And then everything. I'm on low. Keep that in mind.
Right, nah, bro. Even when I put on low, it still looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's really low though. I think it's just eliminating some settings.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Let me just get out of the bed real quick.
Yeah, you don't need to mute yourself on Discord because I can distinguish if you're talking on both.
Okay.
Oh,
Testing.
you need to join the party, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Join the party chat.
Wait a second.
Yeah, don't worry.
There's party. We're gonna connect to audio channel.
Okay. Let's see.
Technically, you should hear me now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, it is. Yeah, let me mute myself on Discord. Hold on.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you gotta just,
I do apologize.
Okay, you don't. Oh my god, oh, you can break a robot. It's a robot. Sorry, I'm not geeking. Oh, I'm giving you a call in private.
testing. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Me
I'm giving you a call in
testing,
private, you know?
testing. Nope, hold on. Copy that. Do you copy? No, hold on. Testing.
Testing, testing.
Copy that. Do you copy? Board. Do you copy?
I'm giving you a call in private. Do you copy me? Do you copy? I think the private call is what?
Board. I do copy.
Where is it?
Hold on, guys.
Yeah, join the party back. I think the private calls are buggy right now.
Testing. Copy that. So you don't hear me right now? Board. Do you copy? Yeah, 99. Do you copy over?
For some reason, I cannot hear you. Give me a sec, okay? Is everything okay on your end?
Testing. Testing.
By the way.
Can you hear what I'm saying? Okay. Copy that. Can you hear me? Copy that 1099. Do you copy?
Bro, what do you keep doing? Are you calling me in private or what? What's going on?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Testing. Do you copy?
Now I can't hear you. What the heck are you doing?
Testing. Can you hear me now? Testing.
I cannot hear you. I see your chat bubble popping, but I can't actually hear you. And I saw that this happened when you called me in private, so don't do that. Just reconnect to the party chat.
Oh. Yeah, I see it. So it shows Mike's unplugged again. Okay, let me back to the main menu. Yeah, it only does that during this time. Okay.
Also, you know why it's bugging out?
With the private chat.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, we'll just stick to the regular party.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting now. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I can't join.
You want me to recreate the party? To restart the game?
Oh wait, no, I'm coming in.
Okay, bro. Oh, I didn't. Damn, bro, I didn't allow you to. Wait, what the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. How heavy roleplay do you wanna do this? Light roleplay, full roleplay? How do you wanna do this?
It'd probably be light for now until we get the rhythm of it, you know.
Yeah, sure thing, dude. Oh,
I mean, I'm definitely not a space expert,
yeah, same, bro. Same
bro.
shit.
I mean, the 1099 they're talking about shields and carrying capacity. It's because I'm reading the damn menu, man.
Dude, I'm literally reading what's on my screen. I'm like, yeah, the shield capacitors are fully operational at 100%, both the
Make it sound
upper
good.
shield and the lower shield. I'm like, what the fuck am I saying? Oh,
All right, I'm gonna join real quick, see if you can hear me.
yeah.
Okay. Technically, you should.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Can you also hear me?
Copy that. Loud and clear. Over.
Time for. Yeah, it's been some time, Trix. Hope you've been well, mate. How's first reading it?
Airport sure has. What's your location?
Right now, I'm at the metro station, Lordville, you know.
Copy that. Over.
Yeah, I had a chat with Miles Eckert, and he has a job for us. It's a decent pay, around 2.5k. We just need to take down a couple of guys that have robbed him. I don't know if you're up for it, if you're interested in getting some quick cash.
And how's the walkie-talkie? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Oh, my ears so fucking distorted. What the heck are you doing?
Nothing? Everything's okay?
Oh, please, I'm begging you, don't pull this shit with me.
Copy that. But what's your location? I'm trying to find out where you are.
Oh my god, dude. You're weird. Let me reinvite you to the party so you can actually see me, okay?
Copy that. Loud and clear.
You might want to join the voice again.
Copy that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's good. What's where you at? Where you at hiding right now?
Oh, you're creeping me out, dude.
Relax, it's okay. So what mission did you say we have?
Got you. Bro, you're creepy as fuck. I'm sorry, that's just disturbing on too many levels. Fucking
Well, if I'm gonna play a woman, I really gotta sound like one, right?
Yeah. Wait, so girl, listen up. Girl, listen up. I'm at the metro station right now, so if you can get here, that would be great. Miles Eckert has a mission for us. We need to take down 3 guys that robbed him. The payment is decent. It's 2.5 to 2.5 okay, but for this mission, I know. What do you think? Are you afraid?
Yeah, 10-4. So, what about are we looking like in terms of like traveling distance?
It's like in the system thing. I'm checking my because right now we are talking about 50,000 kilometers, so it's nothing like out of the ordinary. It's close enough.
Sounds good. Which ship are you gonna fly today?
I think we should probably take a freelance for this one. Well, it might come in handy for this close combat.
Is it just me, or is I think my visors are lagging a little more than usual.
We even offer accredited exams for new qualified employees. See your local recruiter for details. Finally ready to take the plunge on a used ship? Swing by the Newfield shipyard for exciting deals on all your favorite
Copy that.
Processing power on the visor.
Need a job? Person Dynamics is currently hiring in multiple departments. If credits are tight, we even
Okay.
offer accredited exams for new qualified employees.
What a beautiful day in the galaxy, huh?
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfers to the perimeter, spaceport, and industry lines.
Trixie girl. It's like, don't get me started.
Do not block doors.
Oh, I know, it's so crazy.
Filthing this shit. Wait, I sent information towards you. Did you get it?
No, that's a negative. What's the location on that?
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous
Why would you send me location when I'm right next to you?
No, not location.
Copy that, I got it.
Information for the mission. There you go. Alright, go ahead and do that.
Next stop, Tisa Spaceport.
Okay. I gotta go get my nails done too. It's been a while since I had a pedicure. Testing.
Testing.
Now arriving, Tisa Spaceport.
Copy that. Hoping everything runs better.
Embarking the train.
Think we might be at our stop. I'm right behind you.
Security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
My visor seems to be running a little better than normal, which is good.
Yeah, but your visor's voice channels are fucked up. You're so like I think we changed a few things that you should have.
Platform edge when train is approaching.
Yeah, just bear with me. Hold on.
Shutting. You're awkward and weird.
Testing. Okay, back.
Dude, okay, that's not a shit. Just use your bloody normal transmission, see bloody it is.
Yes, that's very nice.
Oh my god. I say you're like a little kid, you have your new toys and you're just showing off.
No, not at all.
Oh my god, so mad, man.
Sounds like you're scared.
Focus.
Alright, let's go. Seriously. Alright, so where are we going?
We're going to the hangar. Did you accept the mission?
Alright, that's an affirmative. Neutralize bounties. Looks like we got 3 now, 8, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Let's go take, we're gonna take a freelancer for a spin.
Testing. 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 But that doesn't sound very good.
Alright, go ahead and take your freelance out.
Copy that. Copy that. I think we'll be okay.
Go. You're a freelancer, go. Come on.
Is that the one you want?
God damn it. Stop fucking with me.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll get us an expedition.
Someone help me, please.
Anger 6. 6. 6.
Let's go. Have a 6, you said.
I'm trying to talk to you, but I got like, but it's like crazy.
But we really gotta figure out what we're gonna be doing, everything like that, you know?
Okay, I'm seriously, stop, I'm not even joking, stop it.
Can you? My radio signal is very.
Fine. Fuck you, dude, fuck you. Come on, just
Okay. Testing. Testing.
can't fix the elevator.
Testing. Testing. Yeah, we got Hanger 6.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you in the elevator, you bloody git.
In the elevator, I see you right here in front of me.
Oh shit, we're distinct.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me see which elevator you at. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on. Oh, wait. I see you on the elevator, but you're good. Hold on. Let me double check.
Let's just meet at Hangar 6, okay?
Hold on, stay right there. You going, bro? Like how I just made it in here? No, I see you. Dude, my game is running worse than it was yesterday. What the?
I think it's because of
I think it's the server, bro. Yeah, it could be, but not really. Like, I'm looking at my CPU and GPU, bro. I'm good.
I said the freelancer, bro. I said the freelancer. This is not a freelancer. What the fuck? I shit me right now.
Oh my god, why would I grab that? Oh man.
Come on.
Well, I thought you might want to go for a walk.
Come on, bro. Whoa, easy there. Keep your hands to yourself, dude. Fucking pervert. You are a sick bastard, man. Come on, go get the freelancer, dude. Come on, we don't have time. What hangar are we talking about?
Checking now.
Trace.
Hangar 6.
Hangar 6, okay, let's go. Now this is my beauty.
Oh, hold on. It's closed. Weird. Why is it closed? One moment.
Because it's your ship. You need to collect on me. My bad.
Okay, you're good. Or wait, no, never mind. Hold on.
Am I clear?
Yeah, now you're clear. Yep. Did we gear up again?
No, this is gonna be a ship to ship one. I don't think we can get dirty. Give me an assistance check, please. Let's see if we're
Copy that. Looks like shield's running at full capacity. Currently we're running away from comms and the all systems go with the turret guns are gonna be currently on standby and pressure point seems to be all in orderly fashion.
Last time to arrive. Let's go, dude. I'll be needing you in the turret streets.
10 for it.
Calibrating quantum drive for aerial. Starting quantum travel in 3, 2, 1. Quantum. Safe velocity bounty is at 800 kilometers away from us.
10 for it. Before you proceed any further, let me just do a double check here on the turrets. One moment.
Time for
Okay, looks like all systems go. We're clear to take off. Go ahead. What's the meters on the enemy tangles there spotted?
We are 650 kilometers away. Quantum as closer if possible. Cancel that. I can't quantum us. What the heck?
That's interesting.
Let me try a few things here.
Yeah, seems like I'm having issues with the turret systems. They seem to be malfunctioning. Over.
Yeah, same with the quantum.
Yeah. Something.
I'm having issues with everything actually.
Yeah. This is Mayday. Over. I repeat. It looks like the entire systems are down. My seat's not functioning. I can't exit the turret. Over.
Same here. Apparently my seatbelt is not unbuckling. Okay, we're not the only ones in the world having issues.
I don't think we're in the global chat. The global frequency. How do we get on that?
Oh, I lost connection to the server.
Yeah, same here. That explains why, bro. I was lagging hardcore, bro.
Bro.
I think the server broke.
God. Okay.
I know, head explosion.
I know. We're still in the party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Okay, sentence system visit location. You should be able to join.
Okay.
Bro, that was unlucky.
I know, man. I knew something was wrong, bro.
Yeah, because
I felt it.
Nothing was working. Nothing was working.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit happens. It's
It
not your
does.
fault, but shit happens.
Yeah, well, honestly, as many times as I played, that's not a common thing, so that's alright. We're joining a different server anyway. Honestly, it'd be nice to have a Mass Effect multiplayer, like co-op wise. Be kind of cool, or like an open world like this. The whole alien species thing is awesome.
The search engine is also adding a point.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Would like to see some Asaris and other species. I think we're loading in now. It's taking a while to load in.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to do?
There you go, I'm loaded in.
Wow, I'm not. You're fast. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah, NPCs are weird. Probably the whole server systems probably look like they might. Yeah, look, the game's even running a little better this time.
Yeah, probably was a server like the server was fixing. Hello.
Did you get in?
Now I'm still loading in.
Ra-ra-pa-pam-pam. Oh, the same guy from the last server. He's like, stupid disconnect. Just lost all my packages.
Oh, bro, that sucks. That sucks. loading in. Still loading. While I'm loading, let me grab a glass of water. Okay, be right back. Like 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm loaded in, dude.
Right. Bro, how do
Do
you...
you see me? I should be
dude.
above you. I should be above you. So no. Okay, let me recreate the party then. Wait, wow, we're still part of the MISC freelance. Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I said. It looks like,
Give me a sec. So disband group, then go to chat. Okay, I'm gonna leave this shit. Oh, I can't. Members. Invite a party. Party invite sent.
Got it.
Okay, there you go. Okay, let me check contracts. Fucking hell. Only 1 second. Yeah, I can get this thing. I just need to go talk to Miles. To me, boy, Miles, bro. Let's go. Oh, yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
lagging
don't
less.
see your Yeah, I'm lagging a lot less. Where's your... I don't see your location.
I should.
Oh, I see you now. Yeah, never mind.
Residences are available at all price points. See a habitation rep for details.
We are crazy for playing in fucking Hearthstone, which is a lag fest, dude.
Yeah, it is bad here, bro. Even for me, this is bad.
What's your frame right now?
33, 26, 28, 30. That's bad.
Yeah, definitely.
This game doesn't care what you have, bro.
Yeah.
Nope.
Ask about Hurston's worker subsidy program for sizable credit advances, guaranteed job placement.
Okay, yeah, bro. I'm okay. I have low frame, but I'm not stuttering or anything. It's fluid. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Wow, Star Citizen is taking 60% CPU.
Yeah, bro, it's
Wow. Why is it running on more CPU than GPU? It didn't do this last time.
it did.
Be the pride of your community. Join the civilian constable services today.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly get the mission for us.
Lorville is our city. Take pride in its appearance. Clean up after yourself. In it for the long haul? Ask about Hurston's worker subsidy program for
Let's see what he has for us now.
for guaranteed job placement. Be the pride of your community. Join the civilian constable services today.
Okay, are we ready, dude?
Defacing public property
Yeah.
is a crime. Report any criminal activity immediately to Hurston Security.
Okay, did you get the mission? Did you accept it?
Yeah, I accept it.
Current atmospheric conditions before you leave.
Okay.
In it for the long haul? Ask about
Where the fuck is the train station?
subsidy program
Oh, where'd it go?
credit advances for guaranteed job placement.
Okay, we ready to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe at the station, dude. Metro Center.
Be sure to check the current atmospheric conditions before you leave. Be the pride of your community. Join the civilian constable
Are you coming, Trace, or?
Yeah, I'm coming. My bad. Hold on.
It's okay.
I gotta see what's going on, bro. It didn't do this to me yesterday. Oh. Maybe it's just the servers.
price points. See a
Made it crash.
for details.
What?
Hmm?
Hmm?
The servers crashed. So I'm thinking it's got to be something with that.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfers to the perimeter, spaceport, and industry lines.
Mm-mm-mm.
Be considerate to your fellow travelers.
Yeah, I don't remember my CPU being this high. I don't have anything else open. I even closed the other thing, still doing it.
It was at 60 yesterday too, just so you know.
It was what?
It was at 60 yesterday too, just so you know. You were actually surprised that it's not that GPU intensive.
Oh. Hmm.
No, it was like this. You had like 60 between 60 and 65, 70 percent yesterday.
Yeah, but it feels like it's running less today. Like I feel the difference for sure.
Yeah, again, it might be something similar on their end
Next stop,
regarding the performance. I don't.
spaceport.
It might be. It's got to be something because yeah, it's weird.
Did you accept the mission, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or wait, hold on. Why don't I see it? Do it again.
Let's get out of the plane first, okay?
Okay. Okay, I got it now. Now I got it. Yep.
Please watch your step when disembarking the train. Security reserves the right to search travelers at any time.
Okay, on my end it's running smoother than the last time.
Yeah. Well, now it's running smoother in this area. Yeah. Did you just run into the wall?
No. Okay, let's see if we can get your freelancer out. If not, I'm gonna take mine.
Yeah, it's got to be claimed. Gotta take out yours.
Alright. Go ahead and do claim it just so you have it there, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. Platform. Oh.
Happen.
Hello. They were unable to process my request. Fucking asshole. I can't get the ship out.
No?
No. Yeah, bro, what the heck? I can't get the ship out, dude. Fuck.
Wow. That's not good, bro.
Yeah, we'll have to do yours, I guess. Or are we doing the small one? Oh, this is gonna be tricky doing the small.
Yeah. Did we want to? Well.
The thing is, the weaponry on my small one is not good. That's the problem, Trix.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't retrieve my ship from the terminal. Shit, son. Nope. I can't get my ship out, Trix.
No?
No. Alright! Fuck. Yeah, my ship is messed up. We'll have to get your freelancer to it.
Okay. Well, I know it said like 16 minutes.
Yeah, you can speed that thing up.
Oh my god, Super Penguin, thank you so much for the host. Appreciate it. I think Twitch is messing up. What the heck was that? Oh. Ah, my head toggle was on. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, I can turn it off for right now if you want. I had it off for a while and there was some issues, so I turned it back on. But yeah, with a host like that, I'll turn it off. Absolutely. Sorry guys, if you guys are coming in or if you're watching from over there, Super Penguin, thank you so much for the for the hosting. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for the raid as well. Oh my god. Okay, so okay, now I see it. Oh my god, my game is going crazy. My computer's gonna blow up. My CPU. This game is like destroying my PC right now, guys. I think I need to do something with this. Oh my god, that is so crazy. Hold on. Yeah, oh my gosh. Ooh, buddy. Oh my god.
Super Penguin, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
That's crazy. 3 bottles of wine. Ooh, tasty. Well, have a great night. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Super Penguin coming in with the sun. Thank you so much for that, bro.
Really appreciate it, man. Guys, I don't think none of my mods are here right now. I got you, Penguin. Hold on. I'm gonna have to make a hotkey for this. Let me just, actually, let me do this. Helps out. This helps out big time. Plus, we'll find out what game you were playing just now. Yeah. I'm still here. My bad, bro. Star Citizen. Woo! There you go. See, Star Citizen, of course, right? Do you know anything about what's going on with the servers today? Is it like, cause I just played and it crashed on me, and now I just feel like the game is running a little choppier today than usual. I don't know if it's something on their end. I'm guessing that it probably is, because last night I was fine. The game ran phenomenal. With servers, yeah, I might have to do it, man. I don't know, like 30 FPS, that just don't seem right for my setup. Let me check. Hold on. 10 minutes.
You can expedite it. You can fast forward a bit.
That costs moolah, man.
Oh my god, here he goes.
I got the expedition.
No, fuck, dude. We're not using that crap against, like, we need 3 fights. 3.
How much it's gonna cost me? Bro, I don't even have that.
Shit, okay.
Remember we bought, wait, hold on a second. How much is the expedite? Oh, okay, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong price. I got it. Give me 10 seconds. Yeah, that's crazy, man. My game is crazy. Need to borrow a ship, right? Solar really affects it. Yeah, that's crazy. Is it? I don't know. There we go, guys. Yeah, it really does, Super Penguin. That's crazy. But I added you to the Book of Raiders. Don't worry. I got you on the Book of Raiders. I won't say when. I got you, though. Don't worry. That's a pretty big host, and that's a pretty big raid. I really do appreciate it. You got a few. What's your favorite ship, though? With PTU going, it can be bad. What does PTU mean? I think Mr. Eridar might know. What does PTU mean in Star Citizen?
PTU, private test universe. It's like the inside the program.
Oh, yeah. That was a dumb question. Why did I even ask? Yeah. So anyway, so Super Penguin over here is saying that it's just better. Sometimes when it lags as bad as it does, just switch server. But I'm pretty sure it's the location too, because this is the new area, right?
No, this is the old area, but this is the hub, so usually hubs lag.
Oh shoot, Hangar 9.
Hangar 9.
Yeah, let's go. Oh gosh.
I froze.
You.
Trace wrong, bro. What the fuck, dude?
Bro. Oh wait, I'm getting more FPS. Server must be getting disconnected. Where'd you go? Where did I go?
Over here, dude. Still hitting me, you fucking rascal. Hangar 9, you said, right? Dude, stop it. Oh, I brought Trix, your Berserker King on my end. Are you jumping around, dude? You're lagging me. Stop. I'm like fucking 2 FPS because of you, for the love of God, dude.
The new Babbage and PTU can't be laggy, yeah. So like new planet, right? So yeah, I guess it's understandable because it like right now. Let me hold on. Once we get out of here, it'll run much better. Ah, I missed my push to talk on Discord, man. I'm gonna change the button for it, bro, because this is.
It's okay, bro. It's okay.
What? You on the shit? What the?
Yeah, I'm on the ship, bro.
Teleported on me, man.
I know, right? Fucking 5 FPS, bro. Let's go. What's going on about?
And
yeah, you just do it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna upgrade my PC. Just do it, bro. Open the gates to heaven. AK, hold it in.
getting over here now.
Systems on.
Thank you, Super Penguin. I really appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I really like the game. I mean, I don't like the lag, but I mean, what we're gonna do, right? I mean, but what the game is, it's understandable. I get it. You know, it's different. It's got a lot going on.
Come on, did you call it in?
You know. Oh shoot.
Hello. How can we help you today? Systems on.
It's opening now and clear.
Launch sequence complete.
But thank you. Yeah, have a great night. I'll be going to bed pretty soon myself. Oh man. He's running okay now, I guess, but like sometimes it just feels like I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, you know what? I did change my no, GPU I'm at 40%. I don't. Okay, hold on. Let me see something here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna look at something here. And I'm gonna do? Give me 1 second, bro. I'm gonna try something a little bit different here on the video panel.
Oh fuck, man.
No, I'm gonna be in the game. I'll be fine. I'm not doing anything like severe. I can still see the game. Don't worry. Got a multi-screen here. What the? All right, how's the quantum right now?
What do you mean?
The quantum's
smoother.
it's smoother. Sweet.
Yeah, it's smoother.
Yeah, now the game's running phenomenal out here. But I know it's the area, but I'm just kind of curious. Instead of
We're
running,
gonna get that any time now, just
oh shoot.
Oh, need you in the turret, boy.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, what's that spinning in front of us? What the actual fuck?
Yeah, that's weird, bro.
Oh, this, I don't like this. Shit. Why they're there? I need you, bro.
Okay. Let me see if you want me to get on the turret.
Bro, they have
Oh, they got missiles?
what down? They're so fast, 60% power. Yes, but we have the firepower.
Hold on, bro. Let me get on the turret.
We're in big shit, we're in big shit. We're in
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Oh gosh. Hang tight, bro. Hang tight.
Let's go, dude. First target.
Oh, 2 more to go. 2 more to go.
Holy shit, that was cool. This is like a space station. Wow, bro, what happened here? Okay, let me initiate a scan.
Hello, how can Miss help you today?
Okay, I'm on the turret now.
Systems
Yeah, I'm just initiating a scan. What is this? Nothing. Interesting. Okay, quantum to the next location, bro.
Okay.
The next location is at Magda. Hello, trains. We're distracted. Fucking hell, give me a second. I'm having problems.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, now quantuming correctly. I apologize about that.
quantum travel engaged.
But the quantum is yeah, everything is smooth now, yeah. Not gonna lie to you. 30 FPS.
Yeah, that's great, man. That is good.
Oh, this is such a weird planet, are you feeling?
Quantum travel complete.
Okay.
Let me just check an hour. Oh, in one. What? Are you ready to dance with these bitches?
Ready.
Good, because I'm not.
Engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Oof, okay. Oof. Ready on the turret?
I'm ready on the turret.
Quantum travel engaged.
Oh gosh.
Quantum travel complete. Contact received.
Where are they?
Contact received.
Oh, I got visual.
Yeah, we're way too far. 7,000. No, we need to close down the gap.
Oh, look at all this stuff out here. What are these, pirates?
Yeah. Missiles going. Fire, open fire, open fire.
Target destroyed.
I need your help, dude. Come on, wake up.
I know. I'm trying to shoot them.
Destroyed.
Come on, Trix. Come on, bro. Do I have to do all the work? I'm
No,
not
I
paying
can't.
you to fucking sleep.
I know, but you got the front of the ship like right there. Oh, wait, right there we go. He's 700 kilometers. Can I hit him from here? Oh, you gotta aim
That's
down just a bit.
kilometers, you dingus. Of course you can't.
Yeah, he's too far.
Wow, really? I had no idea. Calibrating and slowing.
Okay.
Quantum travel engaged.
Alright, let's go.
Quantum travel complete. Contact received.
There he is. 6,000. Oh, 7,000, my bad. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, open fire.
Nice.
I need your help on this, come on.
I got him. I see him.
Press 3 to lock on team, okay? Oh shit. Walking on him. Missile going. Bro, he's far. Bro, he's agile. With
Yes, he is.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Man, this front of the ship. I got him. Got a hit on him.
Oh, come on.
Wish his turret was a little faster. Hey,
You're
man.
overheating our weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, he's almost done. He's almost done. Oh,
Man. Well, this ship's like everything's in my way.
Well, it is a powerful ship and we have shields to last us ages.
Right. There we go. Oh. I can never get an angle. I got like the ship body in my way, and then
fucking asshole. He's so fast, dude. And small.
Yeah.
He has too much shit.
There we go.
There you go. Well, that was some easy cash for you, dude.
Heck
That was
yeah,
some easy
man.
cash. Hell
I'm gonna-
yeah, we can do this all day, fucking hell. Easy
Right.
cash, easy.
We get any loot or anything?
No, just cash, bro. Let's see what the bounties we have. Oh, let's go for another one, dude. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna share it with you. There you go.
Okay. 3 bounties.
Alright. Sounds about right, right? Alright. Well, let me... Give me a second. I forgot, actually. Track. I wasn't tracking that mission. Okay, so we have... What do we have then? Let's see. Over there, and oh, this one in front of us. Hell yeah, let's go. Let me, dude. Is it just me or is this like really easy cash for us right now?
Oh yeah.
Huh? No, for real.
Oh, it is. How much did we get? Let me check.
2.5k plus some extra bits.
Oh, okay. Got my my claim money back.
Are you gonna go there? Are you really gonna go?
Quantum
Come
travel
on, son. But
complete.
we have something special going on here.
Contact received.
There they are.
Yeah, the front of the ship. Oh
Shit,
gosh.
my bad. Sorry. That was on me.
No,
That was
no,
on me.
no, you're good. Is he close?
Yeah. 7, 6, 5.
Okay. I'm looking. Here he comes.
One down.
Wow. Two down?
What the fuck was that? Dude, that was so easy! That's what clap. Huh? You feel me, bro? Clap. Fucking hell. Now this is easy cash, bro. No, so this is easy cash. Hurston, let's go, bitch. Clap. Right, you? Right?
Yeah.
Let me check how much ammo we actually still have. Oh, we only wasted like 200 rounds. We're good.
Right.
200, so we have like 500 rounds left. We got this.
Quantum travel complete.
Okay, let me quantum to there. Dude, did we just find an easy way to fucking get us cash? Hmm?
Yeah, we do need to find out.
Oh my god, you again?
Quantum
Okay, can you please put tricks back? Fine, okay.
That's not very nice, but I'm gonna go get him for you, okay? Hold on, Trix, come here.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
quantum travel.
Yeah, that bloody weirdo was back here. I'm sorry.
All right, what do we got? Where's the coordinates on this?
We'll see. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Right. Oh, kilometers. What do we have?
Yeah, they 7,000, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go. One down.
Oh, that was a part of the ship.
Oh, bro, what happened? I'm confused. Oh,
It hit us.
We're getting hammered.
We got visual.
Oh, this is bad.
System's overheating. Oh.
Okay, that crash, that debris.
Smack that windshield, bro. That was cool.
we have something damaged. Oh, there's something damaged, bro.
Hold on, I'm looking. I need to go outside the ship and fix it.
No, you can't. Yeah, I think one of our turrets is a bit damaged, but it's we do have a few things here and there, but nothing that would scare us, bro. Oh shit, sorry about that. That was a close call. I did not enjoy that. That was too close for my comfort zone, agreed?
Right. Very true.
Quantum travel.
Ooh. But what about like ammo on the ship and stuff? Like how do we refill it?
Ammo, dude, we still have 500. We're good on ammo. That's the thing. We will refuel that when we will need to. We'll refuel. Don't worry. Resupply, everything.
Quantum travel complete.
All right, let's go, bro. Oh, easy, sunshine. Fuck, my bad. I'm sorry about that, dude.
What you said that you had a packet full of sunshine. Oh.
Quantum travel complete.
And quantum over there. Okay, dude, this is going. We can literally farm some good cash. Would you agree?
Quantum travel.
Yeah.
Quantum travel complete.
Alright.
Proceed.
Get ready.
Contact proceed.
Okay, there, yeah. 7,000. Five, 4, 3, 2.
Shield under attack. Target destroyed.
One down.
Nice. Nice. Okay, contract complete. Okay. Let me check our money. Oh, 7,000. Oh man, we got our money back from all that armor we bought.
Bro, I know, right?
And we get the Creekbot progression finally.
Hell yeah. Bro, we have more. Let's fucking go. Like, for real. This is easy cash, dude. This is easy cash, dude.
Wait, am I hearing the launcher music again?
I don't know, are you?
How do I turn it off?
I don't know, bro. Are you? Dude, this is easy cash, dude. Let's go. Okay, what the fuck is this shit? Oh, that's 1,000 kilometers. What the fuck, dude? Okay, give me a sec. Are you okay?
Yeah. So far, so good.
Alright, let's go to the next one. Let's go, bro. Did I share this with you?
Hmm?
I don't think I shared this. Give me a
No,
second.
I don't think you did. Do it again.
Quantum travel engaged.
It's not, I don't think that I'm trying to like rip you off or anything. Honest misunderstanding here, okay?
Quantum travel complete.
It's just an honest misunderstanding.
Yeah.
You're like, about that. Honest
is you?
misunderstanding, you say. Huh? Yeah.
Okay, got it. Found these 3. Yep.
Dude, this is easy cash.
Quantum travel
Oh yeah.
No, seriously, this is easy cash, dude. Dude, let's save some money. Let's upgrade our small ships, and we can do all this shit.
Right, right.
Earn maximum money on both ends. Holy shit, we need to do that.
Quantum travel
I would say let's
complete.
get like 20-30k, so we can upgrade our ships with better weaponry. The small ones, agreed?
Yeah.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Are you ready to dance?
Yo.
Quantum travel engaged.
Let's go, bro.
Quantum travel complete. Contact received.
There they are.
Contact received.
What are they? 7 clicks away.
Okay.
4 clicks away. Show, are you really going up? 4.
Shield under attack. Shield charge.
Good, these guys are persistent. We are in big shit. We are in big shit. Dude, that's the fucking ass huge ship. We're gonna lose this. We're gonna lose this. We're gonna lose this. I'm throwing everything back. God damn. Bro, they're humongous. What ship is that?
I have no idea.
That's a caterpillar. Bro, I don't know if we actually have the right. Okay, let's take the small one first,
Yeah, I'm trying to get the small one.
which is the fucking cutlass. Oh man, cutlass is that nasty.
I can't get a good angle on this ship.
I know. I just need to aim lower. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. Like I can never. I'm trying. There we go.
Come on, just fucking go off already. Come on, dude.
Wow, is it? Oh, wait, to turn around.
Can you shoot at the back? Shoot the back. I mean, we have another ship in our back, I believe. I'm gonna take care of the idiotic one in front of us. Destroy one of
Okay. Oh yeah, I see the one in the back. All right, I'm on it. And now I can get it. See, I can hit it now.
Okay, I'm switching towards it. Where the fuck is it?
Okay.
This is a hard one, bro. This is a fucking hard one.
It is.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I got visual. I see the. Well, that's the big one. Where's the other small one?
We destroyed the small one. We need the big one now.
All right, I'm on it. I'm shooting it. I'm hitting it.
I'm also hitting it.
It's going down.
Our shields are in big shit, just so you know.
Weapons system overheating.
Overheating shit, dude. I don't know how to destroy this, Trix.
Oh, you're okay. You're okay.
No, we're gonna run out of fucking ammo soon, bro.
Yeah. How much ammo do I have on here? Does it show me?
I think you have unlimited on the shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
supplied with torpedoes. Ooh, they're landing here. I don't know how to beat this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how. Eventually, we will destroy their shield.
Eventually, yeah.
But will we destroy the shields before we run out of ammo?
System destroyed.
Weapon system destroyed. I lost one of the guns.
Oh, you're gonna crash. Oh,
I can explain, okay?
I was gonna say. All right. What, they're behind us. All right, I got visual.
There you go. Now we're talking business.
There we go. What was that?
I don't know their engines. I'm targeting their engines.
There's a good position right here. Oh yeah.
Ammunition low. We are low on ammo. Let me check ammo. 100 rounds. So I don't know how to beat these fuckers.
I think our ship got some major damage in the front.
Yeah, we are in big shit yet. I don't know how to do this. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. We might get lucky. I don't know how do we see like their armor?
The shields, they have the shields up. Are you targeting them by here pressing, did you press 3 to select them?
Yeah.
Disable the fucking-
There it goes. Any particular spot we should be shooting?
I'm trying to take out their engines.
I'm guessing the orange.
No, that's the cargo. The engines are in the back. Fuck off! Bro.
Yeah.
Where is that?
They're right below you.
We were in the what the fuck?
There you go. Oh, good position right here. Look at that. Oh. Oh.
I'm trying. Oh, this is a good position, dude. From above, oh yeah, dude, this is actually a good position. Fuck off! Die! I think this is the way to destroy these fuckers, just crash into them over and over again.
Right. Oh yeah, they got shield on their engine.
They have shields on everything.
No, look at that.
I'm running out of ammo. Bro, I'm out of ammo! Shit. only tactic we can use right now. We just crush these fuckers over and over again. Hope for the best. Where are they?
Yep. Now you're facing them. Yep.
Bro, I don't know how to do this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind
Ready to go.
of. Do you think we fuck something up?
I don't know.
Should I like get more speed and just run them?
Hold on. Let's see. Let me try to hit the back part.
You're messing, just you know.
I know. I'm trying to. Well, this turret's not the best.
I know. Okay.
There we go. There we go. And now I should be hitting. There you go. You made him spin.
They spin me round, right, baby, right. I think we are tankier than them when it comes to ramming like an idiot. Okay.
Yeah, where'd they go? Where'd they go?
There they are. Oh, bro, they're losing their shit with the speeding. Are you ready?
Yep.
No, I missed him, Trix. Ah, shit. Dude, this is like the most retarded plan ever. Would you agree?
Yep, it is.
No, I barely clipped them.
Caution. Weapons system overheating.
System's overheating.
Hey, what's up, Project Zero? Whoa.
That was a good hit. Mate, losing
Oh, everything's red.
My character lost consciousness.
Oh yeah. Oh, I lost conscious. Okay, I'm back.
I'm back.
That was weird.
Worst tactics ever.
Alright, that's it. They need to get it, bro. We might have to just to make this a slow battle.
Bro, I have a stupid idea. We can try and board them.
Really?
Yeah. Oh fuck, how do we do that? They're moving. We need to... Dude.
We can get them to slow down. How can we get them to slow down?
I think I just destroyed one of their engines.
Let's double check. Oh, I see the engine right there. Hold on. Oh. That's good. Oh, they're moving again.
Yeah, I need to crush into their engines and disable their engines. If we disable their engines, they're ours because we're gonna kill them.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
No, I missed it. How the fuck did I miss that shit? Your viewers must be like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Right, we're going kamikaze.
No! Ooh, that was close.
Ooh.
Trixie.
Oh, we're unconscious again.
Oh gosh. Dude, this is real retarded. Oh, how are we gonna do this?
Take a look. Right there above us. What are they shooting at us now?
Bro, I don't know. I genuinely have no idea how to defeat these guys.
I mean, it is a big ship, and we don't have any like upgraded like missiles or anything.
No, we just ran out of missiles before we actually got into the fight. That's the problem. We used them on small boys.
Hey, hold on, wait, are they getting weak?
Okay, I'm still going. I'm aiming to like destroy their engines with the stupid random technique. Okay, we fucked them up with that.
Oh, I hit. Oh,
Well done, bro.
we almost bored. There we go. Oh, wait, I'm getting the thrusters again. I just need a good angle. There we go, right there, right there.
Are you hitting?
Yeah. Or I'm overheated. Hold on. Try to get close to the back.
Yeah, on it, working. If we take these guys out, we are legends.
Okay, right there. Go a little closer, but nice and easy. I'm gonna
try and stick to their backs, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna do some random shots, just to, you know, whatever hits. Okay, I hit a couple. There we go. There we go. Oh.
Got him.
Right.
Just let me go
Yeah,
on.
right. Just keep going to your left, or keep rotating the way you are. Ooh, right there is perfect. Oh.
It's them, not me. Just so.
No, I know.
They have engines at the back. 2 engines at the back.
I know. Oh, I know the one's got to be almost weak. There we go. Right. Oh, perfect. Oh, down more, down. Oh, down. Right there. Hold it. Oh, back up. Oh, wait, they're going backwards. Yep. Oh, I can't get a hit. There we go. Oh, wait, it stopped. What the heck? Oh, ooh, perfect. Oh, ooh. There you go. Man, they're flying so weird. I need you to go down just a bit. I know it's easier for you to see.
Got me.
Right, they went up. Blow it. And there we go. Okay, right below us. Perfect, you're right to the back. I'm hitting it, I just saw the flame.
There you go.
Oh. Oh, that was so good.
Should I repeat the same shit?
Yeah. I think their thruster's almost done for, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Getting hits on it. Now their shield's blocking me. Oh, wait, this side.
I don't know where are they?
I think they're right below us.
Holy shit, dude.
Careful, our front end is red.
Everything is red, trust me. Oh, there they are.
Oh. Right, they're just going in circles. Yeah, I told you the front was red. No. Oh man, that was close. We almost had him.
Bro, we almost had it indeed.
That's okay. We got a lot of money.
No, we do, bro. We
Let me see.
definitely did good. I'm wanted.
You are?
Homicide because I killed you. Oh my god.
Oh.
Bro. Are you also wanted? Top right.
No.
No. Oh my god. I want because I killed. Oh, dude.
This
Shit.
island is buggy.
Bro, I can see the interior of the fucking planet.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
this is bad. This is bad. Oh, yeah, we might have to switch servers, dude. Or do you want to call it?
Call it. I was just standing on you. You were standing in a hallway just now.
Lol, bro. I fucking want it, bro. Oh, you need to smuggle me out of here, dude.
Bro?
No, I'm not joking, dude. Oh shit, bro. Yeah, I'm back. We're back. I'm back. Okay, are we actually calling it tricks or?
Yeah.
Oh, and the food. Oh. Dude, this was.
That was close, bro.
fucking-
Yeah, but you know what though? Even if it's 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, at least we got points this time.
Dude, yeah, we got cash and now we know what to do. And here's the thing, I really want to save up a bit of cash just to properly upgrade the small ships that are so much nimbler and stuff.
I
Maybe
know. And now
Dude,
with progression saving, we can do our armor, our ship, not have to worry about
I
like.
have an idea. Let's save money. Help me save money, so we can rent for 1 day a warship. We're gonna shred through everything.
Right.
No, for real. Are you up for it? Are you down for that shit?
Oh, which is the warship?
I think we can get something decent for like 70k.
Ooh, rent, but for how many days? For 3 days?
1 day.
Day.
So we rented, but that 1 day, bro, we farming like, I'm not joking, 8 hours back to back farming the shit out of things with that.
Right. True.
What do you think, bro?
You do it.
Come on, this is gonna be cool. What are you doing tomorrow?
Depends. See how things go.
Star Citizen?
Possibly. You know.
Depends how you feel.
Let's farm some cash.
Heck yeah, man. Tired of being broke in this game. I need money. Alright, bro. I'll let you get some rest. I'm gonna do the same because it's like super late, dude.
Yeah, get some rest and just let me know when you wake up and when you're ready to game. Let me. I really want to do some more Star Citizen. Okay, bro.
Okay. Alright, sounds good.
Dude, have a lovely one, mate. Okay.
You too, bro. Ah.
Cheers, mate.
Alright.
Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye, bro.
Alright, guys. First of all, it is super late, guys. Super late. Let me tell you. Oh, man. It is so
Late right now.
crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, man. Absolutely crazy, guys. Oh, man. Wait, can I edit that actually? Hold on. Give me a second. I will. Thank you so much, Portic Zero. I really do appreciate it. I wonder if this will fix Discord. Let me close Discord all the way. Trying to get Discord to work on my lovely beloved tiny. But it's not, Discord is not working. I set up the panel for it. I set up the local host for it, everything. Still, I don't know. So let me just force close Discord. Okay. I do these. Action failed. I'm gonna have to mess with this. Yeah, I'm gonna mess with it. Yeah, this game is CPU intensive. I wonder how I can change that. Wow. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this right now, though. But definitely be catching you guys in the next. So until then, see you guys next time.